some girls you meet, and guys, okay, not a guy-girl thing. Some guys, some girls, you meet are psycho. And what I mean by that is they fly off the handle a little too easy. A little too easy, all right? And I've met a couple of those, but one of them's real weird. Now, I hung out with this girl a few times, We met through mutual friends, and we hung out a couple times. No big deal, all right? We clap cheeks every once in a while. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Well, she liked to talk about how much she hated her roommate, right? That she just couldn't stand her roommate. And this is years ago, by the way. She couldn't stand her roommate for whatever reason. They were apparently dating the same guy, or she had left her boyfriend for that. It was weird. Kind of weird thing. Every time I would go over and hang out with her, there was always tension in the air, and, maybe a fight would start, maybe not. Well, fast forward to one night. We're hanging out. It's just her and me. And we go to her room, of course, to commence to the clapping. And it's getting hot and heavy, there's a clap here, a clap there. There's at one point, we're at the old from behind, which is a very great thing about life. So, I'm trying to bury my hatchet so far that no one finds it within the next 200 years, because I'm really focused at this point. And I hear the front door open, like of the apartment, not of her room. Thank God, right? Oops. And the door opens, and her roommate's home, and I'm like, whatever, no one cares, right? It's fine. You should commence to clapping. And she comes and knocks on her friend's bedroom door, and starts yelling at her about whatever. I don't remember what it was. Something stupid, like leaving a broom out or something. And she starts yelling back. And I'm like, I'm buried right now. I'm like balls deep, and I'm just sitting there, and they're just yelling back and forth at each other as I'm buried, and I'm awkwardly in the middle of this, just standing here whilst inside, and they just fight for like 10 minutes. And I just sit there acting like nothing happened. And then she leaves. Her roommate leaves and goes into her area, and then it's like nothing happened, and we just commenced to clapping. And I think back, and I'm like, how often does this happen, where she's just getting her clap on, and somebody starts yelling at her from another room, and she starts yelling back, and they're just having a full on argument, while I'm just sitting here like waiting at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. She was real mean though, so it's fine. She was crazy and mean as hell to people, but she was nice to me, so that's all that mattered, I guess. You ever been clapping and the girl or the guy, just their cat's just on the bed, or their dog's at the foot of the bed, and I'm like, should your dog be here? And they're just looking at me while I'm doing it, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. And I'm like, this is weird. I don't like this. Hey, it is what it is. My advice to you is to not get like blackout drunk and try to pursue that, all right? You a couple shots in, you're lucid, you're just having fun, you're buzzed. Dude, yeah, whatever. Never try to engage in that when both of you are like almost gone, because I feel like that's not right. That doesn't feel right to me. I've been there, and I would never do that. But this next story kind of makes me think of that. So I was drinking, which is how this happened. I was drinking. She was drinking. But we were both lucid. I was hanging out with this girl off Tinder, and we're drinking, and she was from out of town, but she had lived in the town that I lived in previously. And she was visiting family for the holidays, so we talked, every so often. So she was like, we should hang out. And I was like, well, hell yeah, since you're in town, let's hang out. She comes over to my house at like 7 o'clock, and we start drinking. And we both get pretty messed up. And, I remember us watching Lord of the Rings. I was watching Lord of the Rings, the extended editions, and I got pretty messed up, and all of a sudden, the end of Two Towers was happening. So that's like 9 hours, right? So I'm like, whatever. So we go lay down, of course. And lo and behold, we commence, as per usual. Well, I'm just, I'm going ham, and I'm standing up because this is how that works. And I get nauseated, and I can't make it break. Like, I can't make the nausea break, right? And all of a sudden, it's like 1 second, and it comes. I feel it coming, and not in the good way. And I immediately disengage. I detach myself, and with the intention of going to my bathroom, and I make it like half a step and just vomit projectile across my floor. Granted, I felt way better after that. And she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And I just turn around and it's fine. We commence the jiggling. So it's fine. And like probably 4 minutes later, it happens again. And that's when I ended it. I was like, "All right, we're done." Like I made it to the bathroom this time, and I was like, "All right, I gotta lay down." And then I laid down, and she cuddled me. What if I would have thrown up on her back? Now, granted, she might have liked that. I could have probably added it in for some extra, moisture. Demonetize, banned, cancel. No, don't use it, Cody. Oh my God, could you imagine? Oh no. I'm sorry, chat. That wasn't my intention, boy. Ooh, God. You got any KY jelly? It's like, nah, bro. I supply my own, baby. Oh, oh my God. Let's get on to the next story, guys. Let's get on to the next story. All right. So this one's crazy, and I got to put a disclaimer out there. I was a young boy, and I was not very experienced. But, as you guys know, very well, I grew up in a trailer park. Look, all right, I have since escaped the trailer park, but you can't entirely remove the trailer park from your genes. But at any rate, I was living in the trailer park at this time, and I had met this girl through a friend. Now I was like 17, I think. And I was very inexperienced, and we hang out, and she's a cool girl, and she would come over to my house all the time because her family was extremely religious. So if there was ever a hint of a clap, somebody's dying tonight. And your boy wasn't okay with dying when I was 17. Now in my 30s, I'm definitely okay with dying. Please end all my suffering. But at the time, I had dreams and aspirations that were never achieved. But one day she comes over to my house and we're hanging out. And this girl, okay, look, there's some girls that are pretty timid, and there's some girls that are shy and don't really like to get the ball rolling, so to speak. This girl was a maniac. This girl would come over and just rip her pants off and be like, "Let's do this, damn it." And I'm like, "All right, Jesus, Lord." So we're going ham, one of those days. And I know for a fact she's faking everything because I'm rocking a pinky and she'd be screaming. So I know right away this isn't legitimate. But at the time, I didn't know. I was inexperienced. I thought I was doing well. Turns out it's all a ruse. But we're going ham. And she's screaming at the top of her lungs, and it's over the top. My parents were not home. So, let's go. Little did I know the walk of shame that came after this. About an hour after that, we're hanging out, and she's like, "I'm going to, go home." Okay, cool, it's fine. Go home. So she opens up the door, and I'm standing behind her to walk her out, and my parents are sitting on the couch outside. It's like 7 feet away from my door, in this tiny trailer that has literally paper walls. And the walk of shame, could you imagine, man? She's walking out, she's like, "Oh, damn. Oops, this sucks. Oh, my God." And she walks, and my mom's, like, mad at me because she didn't want to, like, she was like, "Why did you do that here?" And I'm like, "Bruh, I'm a budding young man." My dad thought it was hilarious, though, so that was funny. But that's not the end of the story, man. That's not the end of the story. So I get a little bit more brave in my time in life, and I'm going over to her house sometimes. And like I said, her parents, ultra religious, not about that kind of stuff. They're the kind of people that are like, "You better be married before you ever even take your pants off around each other," right? Well, you know how that is. Well, just for example, one day we're all sitting there watching a movie, and I can't remember the movie. We're sitting there watching a movie, and I'm on one couch with her, and her parents on the other couch, right? And we're under a cover, kinda, and she just takes her hand and starts grabbing on my pee. And I'm like, your parents are right there. What are you doing? It doesn't really lead anywhere, thank God, right? And we go into her bedroom later, and her door is wide open. Okay, wide open. And it's pitch black, and, you know, she 100% of the time initiated every time. So I'm laying there trying to sleep a little, and she just gets on me and goes ham. And I remember it being pitch black. And I'm just sitting there, you know, and she's doing her screaming thing with the door wide open, which is totally fine. Why is this happening? You know, I'm expecting a 12 gauge to the face at any moment. In retrospect, should have had that, would have loved it. But at one point, I hear her mom's voice, like, right outside the door, ask her what she's doing. She's like, so-and-so, what are you doing? And she jumps off me. Holy hell. I'm terrified. I think it's the end. And that was the last time I ever hung out with her. We were kind of, like, officially dating, and I broke up with her. Not because of that. There was also a few other things that were happening here and there. But, dude, I was just scared all the time. I was always scared. She was just too brave, and I was not brave enough for her.
Grasshopper.
What?
My wife asked me to go get 6 cans of Sprite
What?
from the grocery store. I realized when I got home that I had picked 7 up.